This is the third generation M12 FUEL Hammer Drill Driver and Impact Driver. Will it handle your abuse? We'll find out in just a moment. We've got the model number 3404 and the model 3453, and as I mentioned, this is the Gen 3 Milwaukee M12 FUEL, so 12 volt powered brushless motor hammer drill driver and the 1/4 inch Hex Impact Driver. Now, we saw these at the Milwaukee show back in June, so about a month and a half ago, but we finally got our hands on these. We've already reviewed the Gen 4 M18 FUEL Impact Driver and Drill Driver, but don't mix that up with the new M12. So the M12 is the third generation. M18 is the fourth generation, so check those reviews out if you haven't already. We'll have those links in the descriptions, as well as they're probably floating around here somewhere as well. But let's get started. We're going to take a closer look at each one of these. Then we're going to tell you why you'll probably want to buy both of these at the same time in a combo kit, which is model number 3497. Let's get started. Let's take a closer look at the new Gen 3 M12 FUEL Drill and Impact Driver, specifically the Hammer Drill Driver and the 1/4 inch Hex Impact Driver. This is the model 3404 and this is the model 3453. If you buy them as a combo, the model number is the 3497-22. We'll get into pricing in a few moments. I will tell you, you'll be crazy not to buy both of these. When we talk about pricing, you'll totally understand, but I think you'd just kind of be off your rocker a little bit if you bought one of these tools alone without buying the kit. That's how close in price they are for the combo to one. Anyway, we'll get into that later. Let's first take a look at the 3404. Now, these tools just got updated. We were just at Milwaukee when we got to see these for the first time, and then we actually got them in our hands, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago. And this is the updated Gen 3, so this is the third generation of the M12 FUEL Drill and the Impact Driver as well. Now the M18, if you saw a review on those are now in the Gen 4 mode, but these are still, this is Gen 3, Generation 3 of the M12 FUEL Drill and Hammer Drill Drivers. Now, as I mentioned, this is the model 3404, and it is the Hammer Drill Driver, so not only do we have our 12 position clutch there, we also have drill mode, so we can click into drill mode, and then we also have hammer drill mode. Now we also get 2 speeds here, so we have speed 1 and speed 2, and we get a variable speed trigger, so we can go really slow or go all the way up to max RPM. We also get an all metal 1/2 inch chuck, so we can run 1/2 inch drill bits in here, and then we get an LED light right here. That really hasn't changed much. And we get our battery indicator. It is an M12 tool, so we're not going to have a battery gauge on the battery itself, but when we pull the trigger, we're going to have that light up there to show us what's left in the charge of that battery. Now, it being M12 FUEL, that tells us, that fuel designation tells us we're definitely going to get the brushless motor, and that fuel category is guaranteeing you're getting top of the line or in its class. So as far as an M12 drill, this is the best of the best that you can get when you get the M12 FUEL. Typical directional lever right here to go left and or to go forward and backwards. So pretty typical, hasn't changed much. Now the only thing is in the M12, some people will complain about this. We get this little bulge right here in the handle, and that's because the M12 battery has to go up inside there, and so we get a little bit of a wider spot here. It doesn't bother me, but I do have bigger hands. I'm sure that there are some people that bugs a little bit, and you can see that protruding just a little bit. It looks a little bit pregnant down here on the bottom, but that hasn't changed from the older tools either. So if you've used M12s before, M12 drills, then you already have that feel for this, but I did want to point that out. Now, as far as size on this is about 6 inches long. So from the front of the chuck, without it extended, you're right at 6 inches from front to back. And then with that XC 4.0 battery, you're a little over 9 inches tall at the front and a little less than 9 inches tall at the back. And weight on this is a pretty light tool, by the way. So pounds and ounces, and we're going to weigh it with the 4.0 battery, just over 3 pounds. So 3 pounds, half an ounce. So we'll call that a 3-pound tool for that M12 FUEL with the extended XC 4.0 battery. We're still right at 3 pounds on this tool. Now, max RPM on this is going to be 1,550 RPM. That's going to be in high. And you're also going to get in hammer mode up to 25,500 BPM. So 25.5 on the blows per minute or BPM. And it's also stated to be the fastest drill of its size under load. And you're getting up to 400 inch-pounds of torque out of this drill. So let's move this out of the way and bring in the impact driver. And let's take a look at this. Again, we're talking Gen 3 of the M12 FUEL. And this is the M12 FUEL 1/4 inch hex impact driver. So you get a 1/4 inch hex input here or collet. And this is a one-handed insert collet. In other words, if we have a bit, I don't have to pull that ring forward to insert the bit. I can just put the bit in there like this, shove it in, and now it's locked into place. Now I cannot remove that with one hand. Kind of hard to do. You do have to use 2 hands to remove that, but as far as inserting the bit, you can definitely do so. You don't have to pull that ring forward to insert the bit, and that's going to lock that in place. Now, something else we get here on the front of the tool is this tri-beam LED light. We're seeing that now on all their impact wrenches as well as their impact drivers, and that is a great upgrade that we're now surrounding the light of the fastener rather than shining it up from the bottom or from right here, because a lot of times you'll cover that up with your hand. So glad to see that. We also get a variable speed trigger. So just like the drill, I can go really slow with this all the way up to max RPM. Now, just like the drill, this is an M12 FUEL, so again, we know we're getting a brushless motor, and this is going to be the most powerful drill or most powerful impact driver in the M12 class. So M12 FUEL guarantees us we're getting top of the line there, and we also get 4 power modes, really 4 drive modes. 3 of those are sequential power modes. In other words, they kind of step up 1, 2, and 3, more and more power, more and more speed, just by push of a button. So that's wide open in 1, it's wide open in 2, wide open in 3. And then this auto mode is going to use a lot of that number 3 power, but it's going to auto sense when you're driving screws like in metal screws, so it doesn't cam out the screw and doesn't over tighten those sheet metal screws and strip those fasteners out. So that's what that 4th mode is for. Max RPM of this is 3,600, so 3,600 RPM in high. And as far as max torque output, you're looking at 1,500 inch-pounds, which equates to 125 foot-pounds. And you know that we'll test that here in just one moment. Now, just the same on the drill, we get that kind of impregnated handle here because the M12 battery does have to go up into the handle. So a little bit fatter down here on the bottom. Doesn't bother me, but it may bother other people, so I do want to mention that. We've got it kitted right this second with the 2.0 battery, but we'll probably, as we're running it, also throw on a 4.0 XC battery as well. And this just allows the tool to stand up a little better and also give it a little more capacity and runtime, and maybe even give it a little more power. So with the 4.0 battery, 2 pounds 8 ounces, so less than 3 pounds, right at 2.5 pounds. And then with the 2.0 battery, you're looking at less than 2 pounds. So 2.5 with the 4.0 battery and less than 2 pounds, 1 pound 15.5 ounces with the 2.0 battery. So very light and handy tool. And measurement on this one is from the front of the chuck or front of the collet to the back is right at 5 inches. And height on this with the 2.0 battery is about 7.5 inches, or maybe close to 8 up here on the front of the tool. But again, a very small and handy tool to carry. Very light. Now, before we take these over and try them out, there's one thing that I really like to do when I get a drill and impact driver. When you work around cars a lot, you appreciate this. There we go. Now we're ready. We're going to first test the Gen 3 M12 FUEL, 1/2-inch drill, hammer drill driver, and we've got a piece of pressure treated 2x lumber in here. I think it's a 2x6, maybe a 2x8. I don't know. My measurements aren't working these days. Anyway, I do know it's a 2x material. We're going to put in a 1-inch self-feed auger bit. We're in speed 2, have a full battery, and here we go. No problem. In speed 2, driving through with that 1-inch self-feed auger. Now, I wasn't doing any pushing. I was just letting it go in. As you saw, it took a second for it to bite in with the self-feed bit, and then it started pulling in, and I just let it pull through. Doesn't like to go back to back. Go speed 1. It would help if I set the chuck into drill. There we go. So speed 1, no problem driving that 1-inch. And it did it the first time in speed 2, but that second time it didn't want to go that second time. I'm curious if I just step down to a 7/8" drill bit. So same type drill bit, self auger, but this is a 7/8. Let me go into speed 2 here. So had to take a second bite on it, but it did it. Let's try it again. Doesn't look like it wants to go back to back and driving those big holes. Okay, I'm going to try one more time in speed 2. I've let it cool off a second. I have dropped the cell on my battery. Let's just see here. No, it's just too much in speed 2. No problem in speed 1. So I'm going to switch to just a typical self-feed paddle bit. This is a 1/2-inch, so something you would regularly drill with a drill this size. So no problem with the 1/2-inch drill in speed 2. And in 1, I mean, this thing will even drive the 1-inch bit, no problem in 1. So now I'm in speed 1 with the 1-inch auger. No problem. I'm going to do something really stupid and put on their switchblade 2 9/16" bit. And obviously I'm going to leave it in 1, and I'm going to see if it'll do it. Whew. That's rough without an auxiliary handle. So this is our center hole right here. We'll go ahead and blow through from this side. Guess that wasn't my center hole. I'm doing way overkill for a 12-volt drill. There, we made it through. Not something I would recommend with a 12-volt drill, but it was able to accomplish it in a pinch if you needed to, but not a smart choice. All right, now we'll use hammer drill mode. So I'm going to go into hammer drill mode, and I'm going to take a 3/8 bit. So 3/8, kind of a multi-bit made for concrete, steel, wood, everything, and we'll drill into the cinder block. All the way through. We'll step up to a 3/8. So 3/8 into the cinder block. So no problem at all drilling through the full length of that drill bit through this cinder block. Do one more. And just to test its driving capabilities, we will put in a Torx bit. I'll take it out of hammer mode. We'll leave it in speed 2. And we'll drive some 3.5-inch deck screws. No problem at all driving screws, also for drilling. And while we're here, we'll go ahead and grab the impact driver, the 3453 M12 FUEL impact driver, put in the same bit. We'll go into mode 3. Okay, here's the plan for this. We're going to go ahead and torque these first 4 fasteners. We're going to start at 50 foot-pounds, do 50, 75, 100, and 125 foot-pounds. We've got them torqued starting at 50, 75, 100, and 125 foot-pounds. We're in reverse. We've got a full battery, 2.0 battery on this one, at 50 foot-pounds. Now we're going to start back over at 150 foot-pounds. All right, sticking with our 2.0 battery, looks like we've dropped a couple of cells. We're going to go ahead and run this out. So now we're at 150 foot-pounds. Okay, I gave it to that one because it was moving at 10 seconds, albeit very little, but it was moving at 10 seconds. We're going to probably run this battery out on this one, and then we'll throw the 4.0 on there. Again, it was moving at the 10-second mark, so I had to give it to it. Okay, first thing I'm going to throw on a new 2.0 battery and just see if we can break loose what's here, which is 250 foot-pounds. No, wouldn't budge it after 10 seconds, which, by the way, this tool is getting pretty warm. Yeah, 130, 140 degrees. And that bit is 145. So now we're going to throw in the 4.0 and see if we can break free the 250. Yeah, you can feel the difference in this tool between that 2.0 and the 4.0. So now we're at 275. And I really thought we'd break that loose because of just the feel of the difference between the 4.0 and the 2.0, but we stopped there. But still, 250 foot-pounds, I think it was rated at 125, which would be at fastening. So breaking free, it's going to be typically quite a bit more. So still, an M12, a 12-volt tool, breaking free, 250 foot-pounds, and an impact driver. And again, that thing is warm. Yeah, 150 degrees now. That collet's 162. The bit's 165. There's no doubt that we pushed both of these tools to their limits, and for 12-volt tools, these are both very impressive. Yes, I know that with the 1-inch auger bit or 1-inch self-feeding auger bit, it wasn't able to do it in high. It would do it every time when it was cold, but it seemed like it heated up the tool and then it would just kind of stop prematurely and probably saving the tool. But if you threw it in the low, it would actually cut through there. And then even arguably you could make that 2 9/16 inch cut in low with this tool if you took your time and didn't want to kill yourself. But this is not the tool for that job anyway, but we pushed it hard enough that you could actually see where its limits were. But as far as drilling 1/2-inch holes, 1-inch holes in low, it's going to do that. It's going to handle that fine. And a typical self-feed spade bit, it's going to do that no problem at all. These auger bits are very aggressive and they chew up a lot of material as they go and they move really fast. So in high, again, that's a lot of torque for this. Again, stepping up to an 18-volt tool, going to have no problems with that. But again, we were finding the limits of the 12-volt tool. As far as the impact driver, very impressive results there as well. 250 foot-pounds, I think it's rated at 125 foot-pounds or 1,500 inch-pounds of torque. But we got it to actually break free that 250 foot-pound fastener, but wasn't able to do 275. Now, I will tell you, as in the video that I told you that with the XC 4.0 battery, you can feel a difference in the tool as it's hitting and driving. So I was surprised. I figured we'd go another step higher. But again, if you're using this and you're driving screws and you've got the 2.0 in there, throw a 4.0 or 6.0 battery in there and you'll see what I'm talking about. So let's talk about price. The 3404 is $149 as a bare tool, and the 3453 impact driver is $139 as a bare tool. You would be stupid to buy those tools. Now, why would I say that? Because if you buy the kit, the 3497, that comes with both tools, not bare, but with a 2 amp hour battery as well as a 4 amp hour battery, you get all of it, both tools, both batteries, and a charger for $229. Now, I just don't see the sense in buying either one of these bare tool if you can buy that combo for that price. Even if you already have them and you want to give away whatever you don't need, I'm just telling you, it's that close of a margin that why in the world wouldn't you spend that other 80, 90 bucks in order to step up to getting both tools and 2 batteries and a charger. So it makes total sense. 5-year warranty on these as well. We think these are very handy and very powerful tools for the size that they are. Around an automobile, I'm telling you, this package would be perfect for anybody. This impact driver is going to do anything you want to until you step up to an impact wrench, and the drill is probably going to accomplish anything you've got to drill. Now, into carpentry, or if you're a framer, or if you're a plumber, something like that, then yeah, you probably want to step up to an 18 volt, maybe even a right angle whole hog, something like that. But for your typical person just carrying tools, this is a great set to carry around because they're very light. As we said, I think they're sub 3-pound tools, both of them. So very handy to carry around, as well as very good power for the 12-volt tool. We love them. Again, it's the 3404 Hammer Drill Driver, 3453 Impact Driver, and the 3497 Combo Kit. We'll have links in the descriptions for all those. Also, keep track of us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and even TikTok. And by all means, if you hated our video, then give us a thumbs down. But would you let us know in the comments why? And if you haven't already, would you hit that like and subscribe button for us? Have a great day and keep smiling.